Ever wondered why tuna fish is so expensive? It's a question that has puzzled many, from avid seafood lovers to the occasional sushi enthusiast. Tuna, a deep-sea delicacy savored around the world, has a price tag that often leaves people scratching their heads. Why would a fish, something so seemingly simple and abundant, cost so much? Well, brace yourselves because we're about to dive deep into the mystery of tuna pricing. It's not just about fish, but a complex interplay of economics, ecology, and even a dash of culinary culture. The price of tuna isn't just about the fish swimming in the sea, it's a story that spans the globe, involving a cast of thousands, from fishermen and traders to chefs and consumers. The high price of tuna can be attributed to several factors. For starters, there is the sheer demand for this fish. Tuna is a star in many cuisines, from the sushi bars of Tokyo to the delis of New York. It's a versatile ingredient, loved for its rich flavor and meaty texture, and with popularity comes demand. Then there's the supply side of the equation. Tuna isn't like other fish, it's a creature of the open ocean, often found hundreds of miles from the nearest land. And catching tuna is no small feat. It requires large boats, state-of-the-art equipment, and a lot of time. Add to this the logistics of getting the fish from the sea to your plate. Tuna is a global commodity, traded across continents and oceans. It's a race against time to keep the fish fresh and high quality, a task that involves a complex and costly supply chain. And let's not forget about the wide variety of tuna species, each with its own unique qualities and price points. From the prized bluefin to the more common skipjack, the type of tuna you're buying can significantly affect the price. So, as you can see, the price of tuna is a multifaceted issue, one that goes beyond the simple economics of supply and demand. It's a fascinating story, and we're just getting started. Stay tuned to uncover the reasons behind the costly tuna fish. Scene script. First off, we dive into the world's appetite for tuna. Imagine a world without sushi, without sashimi, without those delicious tuna sandwiches. It's a bleak picture, isn't it? That's because tuna has become a staple in many cuisines around the globe. From Japan to the United States, from Europe to Australia, tuna is a beloved seafood enjoyed by millions. But what has this got to do with the price of tuna? Well, simply put, the high demand for this fish is a significant factor that drives up its cost. Demand and supply, those are the two fundamental forces in economics that determine the price of any commodity, and tuna is no exception. Let's take sushi and sashimi, for instance. These traditional Japanese dishes have gained popularity worldwide, and tuna is an essential ingredient in both. Bluefin tuna in particular is highly prized in sushi bars due to its rich, buttery texture and unique flavor. This has led to an ever-increasing demand for this specific species of tuna, causing its price to skyrocket. It's not just sushi and sashimi that have a role in this. Tuna steaks, tuna salads, canned tuna, these are all dishes that people around the world enjoy on a regular basis. This constant demand for tuna means that there's always a market for it, and as long as there's a market, the price can remain high. Moreover, consider the health-conscious consumers. Tuna is rich in omega-3 fatty acids, proteins, and other essential nutrients, making it a preferred choice for those who wish to maintain a balanced diet. This health-driven demand adds another layer to the overall demand for tuna, contributing to its high price. So you see, the world's love for tuna is not just about taste. It's about health, it's about culture, it's about the convenience of canned goods. All these factors contribute to the high demand for tuna, and consequently its high price. The world's love for tuna plays a significant role in its price, but that's just a part of the story. Now, let's look at the other side of the equation, the supply. You see, the world's love affair with tuna has had a significant impact on the ocean's supply. Overfishing, simply put, is when we catch fish from the sea at a rate faster than they can reproduce. This has been the case with tuna for several years now, leading to a rather drastic decrease in their population. Imagine the ocean as a giant fish market. As the number of tuna in this market dwindles, the remaining ones become more valuable. It's the simple rule of scarcity. The rarer something is, the more precious it becomes, and in this case, the scarcity is a result of our own actions, overfishing. But why is overfishing such a big deal, you might ask? Well, it's not just about the decrease in numbers. Overfishing also disrupts the delicate balance of the marine ecosystem. It can lead to the extinction of certain species, which can have a domino effect on other marine life. This is why fishing regulations have been put in place to control the catch of tuna. Fishing regulations are rules set by international bodies to ensure sustainable fishing practices. They dictate when, where, and how much fish can be caught. For instance, there are specific seasons during which fishing for tuna is allowed. These regulations aim to give the tuna population a chance to replenish and recover. However, these guidelines also mean that the supply of tuna is not consistent. There are times of the year when tuna is plentiful, and times when it's not. This inconsistency in availability further complicates the supply-demand equation and drives up the price of tuna. In essence, the supply of tuna is not just about the number of fish in the sea. It's a complex issue involving overfishing, fishing regulations, and the seasons. The struggle to keep up with demand because of limited supply certainly adds to the high cost of tuna. Catching tuna is no easy feat, and the cost reflects that. Let's dive into the ocean of costs associated with catching this prized fish. It begins with the fishing vessel. Industrial-scale tuna fishing requires a sizable boat, equipped with modern technology to locate schools of tuna. These vessels can cost a small fortune, some even running into the millions. Then, there are the running costs. Fuel, maintenance, insurance, these are just some of the recurring expenses. The cost of fuel alone can be staggering, as these boats often travel long distances, sometimes thousands of miles, in search of the perfect catch. And when we talk about maintenance, it's not just about keeping the boat ship-shape. The fishing equipment, such as nets and lines, wear out and need to be replaced regularly. Now, it's not just the vessel and equipment. You also need a crew, and not just any crew. You need experienced fishermen who can handle the rough seas and the unpredictable nature of the fish. These fishermen need to be paid, fed, and insured. This is a profession fraught with danger, and the risks associated with it have a direct impact on the cost. Speaking of risks, fishing for tuna is not a guaranteed success. Fishermen can spend weeks at sea without a significant catch. There are no guarantees in this line of work. The unpredictable nature of the ocean and its inhabitants means that sometimes, despite the best efforts and the highest expenses, the returns can be low. Moreover, there's the issue of sustainability. With increasing concerns about overfishing and its impact on marine ecosystems, regulations have been put in place to ensure sustainable fishing practices. These regulations often mean additional costs, as fishermen need to comply with specific guidelines and may need to invest in more sustainable fishing equipment. So, when you see the price tag on that can of tuna or that beautifully prepared sushi, remember the journey it has taken, the risks endured, and the costs incurred to bring it from the ocean to your plate. The high cost of catching tuna is undeniably a factor in its high market price. Once caught, getting the tuna to your plate also incurs costs. Let's delve into the logistics of the tuna trade, a journey that spans continents and oceans, and involves a complex web of processes and intermediaries. First, we have transportation. Tuna, being a perishable commodity, requires specialized handling. The fish are immediately frozen after being caught, typically at -60°C, to preserve their freshness. They are then transported from the fishing vessels to the shore in refrigerated ships. From there, they are moved to processing plants and eventually to markets around the world. This journey, often spanning thousands of miles, involves a significant expense in terms of fuel, labor, and equipment. Next, we have storage. Maintaining the quality of the tuna during transport and storage is crucial. They have to be kept in specialized cold storage facilities that must maintain a constant low temperature. Any fluctuation can impact the quality of the fish and thus its market value. The cost of maintaining these facilities is not insignificant and is factored into the overall price of the tuna. Then we come to import and export fees. Countries often impose tariffs on imported goods, and tuna is no exception. These tariffs, essentially a tax on imports, are imposed to protect domestic industries and to generate revenue. The rates can vary widely from country to country, and even from product to product within the same country. These fees add to the cost of the tuna, making it more expensive in the international market. Finally, we must consider the role of intermediaries. Tuna goes through several hands before reaching your plate, from the fishermen to the processors, from the wholesalers to the retailers. Each of these intermediaries adds a markup to cover their costs and to make a profit. This too adds to the final price of the tuna. The journey of tuna from the sea to your plate is an expensive one, contributing to its high price. The logistics of the tuna trade, from transportation and storage to import/export fees and taxes, play a significant role in the cost of this much-loved seafood. Not all tuna are created equal, and their price reflects that. This statement rings true in every fish market, sushi bar, and gourmet kitchen around the globe. Let's delve into the world of tuna varieties and how their qualities affect their price tags. There are various species of tuna swimming in our oceans, each with its unique characteristics. The mighty bluefin tuna, prized for its rich, buttery taste, commands the highest price. Its fatty belly, known as toro in sushi parlance, is a delicacy that can melt in your mouth. The yellowfin, or ahi, is a leaner variety that offers a firm texture and a mild flavor, making it a versatile choice for many dishes. The albacore, with its light, almost chicken-like taste, is often canned and sold as white tuna. The size of the tuna also plays a significant role in determining its value. Larger fish, particularly bluefin, often have a higher fat content, which translates to a richer flavor and a more desirable texture. The fat content can vary throughout the year, with tuna caught in colder months generally being fattier, hence more expensive. Freshness, too, is a critical factor. The fresher the tuna, the higher the price it can fetch. Tuna is often flash frozen at sea to preserve its freshness until it reaches the market. However, the highest quality tuna is typically sold fresh, often within hours of being caught, and can command premium prices. The variety and quality of tuna available in the market also depend on sustainable fishing practices. Overfishing can deplete stocks of certain varieties, leading to scarcity and consequently higher prices. Hence, the push for sustainable fishing is not just an environmental issue, but it's also a matter of preserving the quality and variety of tuna available to us. In essence, the quality and variety of tuna in the market are intricately linked to their price. From the species and size of the fish to its fat content and freshness, every aspect contributes to its final price tag. The quality and variety of tuna in the market is yet another factor that drives up its price. What does the future hold for the price of tuna? As we look ahead, several factors could sway the scales in one direction or another. First, let's consider environmental regulations. As concerns about overfishing and ecological balance grow, we may see tighter regulations on tuna fishing. These could include stricter quotas, bans on certain types of fishing gear, or even protected areas where fishing is off limits. Such measures would likely decrease the supply of tuna, driving up prices. But they could also encourage more sustainable fishing practices, which in the long run might stabilize prices. Second, shifts in demand might also influence the future price of tuna. As global populations rise and people in emerging economies develop a taste for sushi and other tuna dishes, demand for this fish could skyrocket. But at the same time, concerns about mercury levels in tuna or a growing preference for plant-based diets could dampen demand. So it's a bit of a toss-up. And third, advancements in fishing technology could play a significant role. More efficient fishing gear, better fish tracking technology, or even fish farming innovations could increase the supply of tuna, potentially lowering prices. But on the flip side, if these technologies are expensive to implement, they could end up pushing prices higher. So as you can see, the future of tuna pricing is as unpredictable as the ocean itself. Environmental regulations, shifts in demand, and technological advancements all have the potential to send prices soaring or sinking. And that's not even considering other potential influences, like changes in fuel costs, trade policies, or climate change. But despite these uncertainties, one thing is clear. As long as people around the world continue to enjoy tuna, there will be a market for it. And as with any market, prices will fluctuate based on a complex interplay of factors. Only time will tell how these factors will impact the price of tuna. Until then, we can only guess and wait while savoring our favorite tuna dishes. So why is tuna so expensive? It's not just a simple question of supply and demand, as we've seen throughout this exploration. The hunger for tuna, particularly in sushi and sashimi dishes, drives up the demand, while the supply is limited by natural factors and conservation efforts. The cost of catching tuna is another significant component. It's not just about casting a net and hauling them in. Tuna fishing involves high-tech equipment, skilled laborers, and often long voyages into the deep ocean. Then there's the logistics of the tuna trade. Getting the fish from the sea to your plate is a complex global process involving multiple steps and players, each adding to the overall cost. And of course, we can't forget the quality and variety of tuna available. Higher quality and rarer types command a higher price on the market. Understanding these factors gives us a clearer picture of why we pay what we do for this beloved seafood.